How you doing? Welcome back to Chef Michael's Culinary Credenza, a symphony of flavors. We're gonna get right into it. We're gonna get down with Italian style pork sandwich, all right? Pulled pork. Everyone's got a little variation on it. I'm gonna show you my little twist, okay? So I got a piece of the shoulder. I went ahead and I boned it out. We're gonna go ahead and use that in the stock. And we're gonna use the meat as well. Well, that's what we're gonna braise low and slow. What I do also is I use pork belly, all right? So what I do is I put a little white vinegar and kosher salt on top, a mixture of it, and let it sit overnight. And then I scrape it off. You scrape that salt off, and there's moisture on top. That takes the moisture off. We want to get that top skin nice and crispy. That's going to add another layer of flavor to the sandwich. And not only flavor, but texture. Remember, the credenza. We're building flavors. We're building. Now here's a first build. I made a marinade. It's a cooked marinade. I made it ahead of time. It's I saute shallots, garlic, onion, some hot peppers, sage, parsley, oregano, deglaze it with red wine. I use the Valenzano wine. It's kind of like a Chianti de Malbec. It's got a little sweet tone at the end. Deglaze that, then hit it with beef base. Let it cook down. You want all those aromatics in there cooking, and then I strain it. All right, now I got a liquid. You could grab one of these in Bed Bath & Beyond. You draw up your liquid, and I just get it right into the meat all the way to the end, inject slowly, and now you got your marinade on the inside. I'll get this piece as well. I cut them down into smaller pieces so they cook faster, because we're gonna shred them anyway. You can't overcook it. I'm gonna do the same thing for the pork belly. I'm gonna get some of this goodness in there as well. I got my pan going that's nice and hot. In fact, I'm gonna turn it up all the way while I'm injecting. So we're getting the flavor. Remember, we're building flavors. This here we're building on the inside anyhow. But you wanna be careful not to get any liquid on the top of the skin of the pork belly. Remember, we went through a process last night to get nice and dry. So we want to keep it dry. When we braise it, we're only going to put enough liquid up to the skin so it gets nice and crispy. All right, so I'm getting my pan nice and hot. Again, salt. I don't need to do anything to the belly. Could season the underside, but I got enough liquid and seasoning on the inside. I'm good with that. I can smell my pan getting nice and hot. I'm just gonna use vegetable oil because that has the highest burning temperature. And this pan's gonna get good and hot for a nice sear. So you remember we sear, we wanna keep them meats, we wanna sear the flavors inside the meat. And now we got the flavor inside too with that marinade. You know, there's that music that I love. There's that sizzle. There it is. We're gonna put the bottom of the belly in there too, bottom side up. Bottom side of the belly. Okay? We could roast the skin as well in there, get a little more extra chicharron, as they call it. But I'm gonna cover the top of the pork with it to keep it moist. Just gonna get a good sear on that. Get the sides. Remember, it's a simple marinade for that. It's mainly sage and garlic and onion. And then anything else. Get a good rich wine in there. I'm gonna hit it with some wine again. I'm gonna put a little mirepoix in there, onion, celery. Put carrot in there. Gotta have the garlic. That's gonna cook in the oven. All right, we'll get those. Remember, we're getting the font from the bottom of the pan. Get that font up. That's where all that goodness lies for the right way. Okay, so that's reducing. It's got a nice reduction. Remember, we're gonna fill it up. You can make your own stock. You know, usually I have it in the freezer. This was an impromptu sandwich I figured I'd make to bring over to my friend's house. Now I want to put enough stock in there just to get underneath the skin of the pig belly. You know why? Because that's gonna braise. So we want the bottom of the meat of the pork belly nice and tender, but we want the meat nice and dry. So we don't want to cover the meat with any liquid. Now there's enough liquid in here for the other pork to braise. So we're gonna go in the oven with this. We're gonna start at a high oven, around 400 degrees. We're gonna put it in there for about 20 minutes. We'll cut it down to 300 and then we're gonna forget about it. After that, we'll be right back. Welcome back. So while the pork is braising, we're gonna get some things ready to put on the sandwich, okay? To make it a little twist that I like. It's the way I like to eat it. Piece of Italian bread, of course. Cut the ends off. We'll save that for later for when we make the Sunday sauce. You could dip it in. I went ahead, I sauteed some broccoli rabe with garlic. Long hots. I always have them roasted. Back when we made the roasted red pepper sauce, the hot sauce right here, I kept a little roasted peppers on the side because you're always going to use them. We have our hot pepper sauce that we made earlier in an episode, and the pork's going to be coming out of the oven soon. And we have our sharp provolone cheese. You got to have the sharp provolone. This is like in between really super dry sharp, because it's got a little creaminess to it. I like that little cream to it. And you'll see why when I show you the pork belly. So we have our cheese on the side. I'm gonna put a little butter on the bread. Why not? I have it out at room temperature. Soften it. Of course, what else do we always have? Roasted garlic. Gotta have it, gotta have it. Off my finger, right onto the bread. I think that the pork is getting real close. I'm just gonna warm that up a little bit, toast it up, nice and nice. Let's see how that pork is doing. It's looking really good. Oh, it's hot, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, here we go. Wow, this is more something you have to hear. You hear that crispness? Man, that's money. That's the pork belly. That's pork belly goodness. And this here, this is the other piece of pork. Look how nice it's breaking up. It's breaking up nice and easy. It's shredded. It's in that marinade that we injected inside. It cooked down, so we have juice there. Now this pork is gonna sit in the juice. Now that it's broken up, it's gonna absorb all that juice. Bread is getting a little bit toasty. So I'm gonna take the butter side and let that keep toasting. And then I'm gonna take this side and dip it into all that goodness. Because you know, if it don't drip down your hand like this and onto your forearm and your elbow, it ain't a good sandwich. And that's what we're doing. We're making a good sandwich here. So that's shredded. This is ready. I'm gonna put my provolone on here. Nice. I put enough on there. Did the broccoli rabe. What am I forgetting? I'm not forgetting anything. I'm saving the best for last. Okay. We got our bread, garlic roasted, toasted, looking good. You don't mind, I'm gonna use my fingers. I've been using it amongst my friends forever anyway. Look at that. Now, check this out. Remember this? That's gonna add a texture. The meat is falling off the bone tender. Listen to this. Look at it, falling off the bone tender. All right, I got that crispy goodness on there with the other pork. I'm not putting it all on the sandwich because I gotta get a little piece for myself. All right, I think I got everything. You know, oh, I don't have everything. I'll tell you why, you could saute up some spinach and garlic as well. But I almost forgot, how could I forget the long hot? I'm not taking the seeds out, I'm only taking the stem off. Put that right on top. Again, the hot sauce we made earlier, back in the summertime. Right on, right on. Here we go. We're gonna top this baby. Oh, man, I could hear the crunch of that pork belly again. And there you have it, Italian roast pork sandwich. I'm glad you joined me. Hope to see you next week at Chef Michael's Culinary Credenza, a symphony of flavors.